that Obama resonated more because the people chose him to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, as opposed to somebody backdooring their way into that position. Let's just be honest about it. You had Biden. I know that you supported Biden. Obviously, you spoke about his mental acuity and all of that other stuff, but we all saw what we saw.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to go back to Stephen A. Smith. He's been on this channel a lot because Stephen A. Smith is entertaining. He also kind of gets it sometimes when his TDS doesn't completely cloud his thought. But in this case, he kind of gets it a lot on the Bill Maher show, and he's going to school California Representative Khanna, who to me is one of these overeducated academic useless people who's probably very book smart, but has absolutely no feel, no finger on the pulse, and just can't read a room. Clueless. And the longer people like Khanna want to be in Congress and not listen to people like Stephen A. Smith, the better it is for Republicans, because they will never defeat this version of the Republican Party, which is Donald Trump's Republican Party. You want to see some examples? Let's go.
So week one of the Trump administration, look, I said from the beginning, I'm not going to pre-hate anything this time, but now he's been in office for a week, I'm going to hate something. No, really, I mean, I hated pardoning people who attacked cops.
I am sick and tired, I've said it before, of the Democrats standing on the soapbox about how they care about cops. They don't care about cops. You never cared about cops during the BLM riots, of any BLM riots, starting back in the mid-teens when Barack Obama was having BLM and Al Sharpton at the White House, where BLM really ramped up. You certainly didn't care about it during the Summer of Love in 2020. So I'm sick and tired of the Democrats using cops to run this narrative about January 6th. It makes me nauseous.
Even if you took the politics out of it, even if they were at the Capitol that day.
And by the way, people that assaulted cops on January 6th, haven't they done enough time already? It was 4 years ago. They've done their time. You don't get 4 minutes in jail in New York City right now if you assault a cop. These people have done their time for committing that crime. They should be pardoned, and they should be out of jail by now.
Because they were a polka band. I don't care. You know, even the cops didn't like that. I also don't like the same thing I didn't like from the first time. Trump has no understanding of how this country works, or no, he does not care to learn.
Bill Maher, in case you haven't noticed already, severe TDS.
In his view, I'm the leader, so I can do anything. TikTok, I mean, both House and Senate voted, you know, you have to either have to sell it, or he just got rid of that just said no by proclamation.
Bill Maher, are you not aware how many people on TikTok in this country make their living on TikTok at this point? Millions of people. There were people hysterically crying on TikTok when TikTok was getting shut down. Donald Trump's doing the right thing by trying to save TikTok and bring it into American control. Millions of people make their living on TikTok at this point. That's just the reality.
Birthright citizenship. It's another one. No, I didn't even think birthright citizenship is a good idea to begin with. It seems kind of crazy to have that in the, but it's in the Constitution. Right. So it seems like people are.
Did you care about that when Joe Biden, on the last day of his presidency, declared a 28th Amendment out of thin air? Here's the thing, be consistent. I don't agree with executive orders all the time. And this executive order about birthright citizenship was made to get shot down. It was made to get it back into the Supreme Court to see if this could be decided finally to really define what it is, because it's been completely gamed like every other system by the Democrats to work to their advantage. So no. Again, be consistent, Bill Maher. You'll never bring up what Joe Biden did. Do you bring up that Joe Biden basically disregarded the Supreme Court how many times with student loan forgiveness? Completely unconstitutional, yet Joe Biden would constantly try to work his way around it, even after the Supreme Court told him he couldn't. Be consistent, but your TDS, again, prevents you from being so.
Talking about this imperial presidency we have, where a president can just do anything. What are you in Congress gonna do about it? That's my question, everybody in Congress. It keeps happening. What are you going to do?
Well, first of all, we're going to speak for basic American values. I mean, if you're born in America, you're an American.
Stop. No, you're not. That's the problem right there. Khanna, first of all, with the platitude, the basic American values. All right, enough of that. But no, that's not how this works. You don't get to come here and decide when you're, in your third trimester that you're going to take a vacation and have a child, and then you're citizens, and at least your child's a citizen. That's not how it was supposed to work. You're gaming the system. Keep talking like that, Khanna. Keep losing.
Period. And when he's going after that, all the Republican lecturing, we're for the Constitution, we're for the founders, until they're not. You know what makes America exceptional? The fact that your parents can come from any country, be of any faith, not have wealth, not have fame, and if you're born in America, you can go as far as you want.
Your parents have to come here legally, number one. All right? Knock off the nonsense. Your parents have to come here legally. You don't get to take a vacation and have a child and then get to live the American dream. No, sorry.
And that's what Donald Trump is taking away.
No, he's not.
And then the part, let's keep going.
I mean, come on, man. Rich Chinese people come here,
Thank
they
you.
fly over here, and then they have the baby here just so they can be an American citizen. It has been bastardized. You can't say
Not
that
just
this
Chinese
is just
people.
all for the good.
This is like the Reagan welfare queens. They pick out some extreme example, but you're going to change the Constitution?
No,
you
have to change the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. You can't do things by proclamation. He does not understand that.
He understands it better than you, Bill Maher. He just won the presidency twice. I think he's a little smarter than you when it comes to this stuff and how to work your way around things.
He doesn't care.
He does
There's
not
a
care.
difference.
He does not care to learn.
He doesn't give a damn. He's not interested. And not, by the way, that's how he got into office. We got to backtrack and rewind the clock. When he walked down, when he just strolled down the escalators in 2015, he was basically sitting up there and saying, what you've seen going on in Washington is so disgusting. It's not in the interest of you as the American people. So I'm going to do it my way. And I've answered this question on so many occasions when I've talked about him, guys. I've said this. You could have politicians saying, I disagree with this person, I disagree with that person, etc.
Hey guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe. I do one video a day at least. If I don't do one video, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control and I couldn't get it done. But please like, share, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I appreciate it.
Trump will call them every name under the sun. He will mock them. He will insult them. He will be as annoying and as disgusting as you will allow him to be. And the voters will say, ha! We love the fact that you talk to Washington that way because as American citizens, that's how we feel about Washington.
Right. You're saying what we've been thinking. Finally, somebody is coming along and saying what we're thinking and how we say it. Not like I said right away, Khanna with the platitudes. It's about the American values. Shut up.
And the fact that you're speaking our language is what makes us trust you because we believe you resonate on our behalf. This is why he got into office in 2016. This is why a whole bunch of people were acting like you know what in 2020 with the insurrection because it was an insurrection.
No, it wasn't an insurrection. Nobody was ever charged with insurrection. Nobody was convicted of insurrection. But keep saying it. This is where the TDS is kicking in for Stephen A.
Regardless of what people want to admit, the way those folks were acting, not everybody, but some of them. And then ultimately, he wins back in office in 2024. Just like in 2020, we said Biden, it wasn't about votes for Biden. It was about votes against Trump. In 2024, it wasn't about votes for Trump. It was votes against some of the nonsense that was taking place within the Democratic Party.
No, it was more votes for Trump this time, and especially votes for Trump because people wouldn't tolerate somebody like Kamala Harris. So if you want to say votes against Harris, maybe. But there were a lot more votes for Trump this time than there were just because of what you're saying, Stephen A.
Because they have not been able to find a voice that would resonate with the American people where you're speaking their language, where they look at you and they say, hey, we get where you're coming from. You relate to us. The Democrats went a different direction. Trump capitalized on it. Basically, he played everybody like a fiddle and has won re-election again.
Democrats
That's
played
really the
themselves.
bottom line.
Democrats played themselves.
I agree, with a lot of what Stephen A. is saying. I mean, look, I think Trump came in there and said politics are broken. They're all beholden to donors. There's been a country which has had all this economic wealth in some areas, other parts of the country, offshoring of jobs. Your communities haven't been helped. I'm going to come and fix it. And there's a history in this country. We love James Dean. We love Miles Barber. We love people who question rules. But what is he doing about it? Like, how is freezing cancer research, freezing diabetes research, and freezing Alzheimer's research doing anything to help people's lives? Now,
Khanna, what in God's green earth are you talking about? Is he referring to the gain of function that he just stopped, that Trump stopped the gain of function? Because, you know, that's what brought the you-know-what over here? And who the hell knows what else they're developing with that stuff? That's what Khanna referring to right now? This is what I'm talking about.
they're saying, oh, he's cool.
Well, I mean, talk about cherry picking. I mean, I didn't even hear about those. I'm not surprised he's doing it.
Because Khanna is giving you no context or nuance. Nothing new.
But I don't have all the facts on that, and there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, some of them are not that crazy. Again, how he does it, you know, by proclamation, no. But to your point, you know, this country never reacts. It only overreacts. And some of this is brought on by the left. Yeah, you're right. You brought it on yourself. I mean, Penises in the locker room, penises in women's prisons. Of course he's going to go the complete opposite direction now. And now there's only two sexes. Whereas...
How is that going in an opposite direction? It's called just going in the right direction. It's not the, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. No, I'm just going to keep going in the direction that every normal person on earth has been going in for the past billion years. That's the direction I'm going to go in.
Obviously, there's a middle ground, which is there's not just two sexes. This goes back to hermaphrodites in ancient history.
Really, Bill Maher? What's the percentage? It's less than, I think, 1/10 of 1%. I mean, really? Dumb.
You know, chicks with dicks, and it's just not that simple.
Yeah, it is that simple.
But it's also not the case that every baby born, which is what we had for the last 4 years, is kind of a jump ball of, I don't know, just as likely, let's not even put the sex on the birth certificate.
See, Bill Maher's right in this statement, but he just can't give Trump the win ever. He's got to, there's not just two sexes. I mean, and he comes up with this ridiculous concept, which, yeah, everybody knows that exists, but it's known, but at the same time, it's known that there are legitimately two sexes, XX, XY.
Let's let the kid decide when they're 5. That was crazy. So there's going to be this backlash, and that's what you have now. Well, you did bring it on yourself in a lot of ways.
Here's the deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts.
Nonsense.
And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see.
Exactly.
They also knew that the charges were complete nonsense, and they knew it was lawfare.
That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, when you're talking about issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the mustard, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week 1 on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to...
Democrats do it all the time. Joe Biden did it with student loans. Knew that was going to get shot down. The only difference is Joe Biden, even after it was shot down, tried about 7 other workarounds to try and still make it happen.
Try to do, I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a...
Yeah, the promises the left kept were all about, the things we were just talking about with 57 different genders and all that crap. Those are the promises that they kept over the last 4 years. Worked out well for them.
Voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home, and that man is back into the White House, and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about, look at it, this is the latest, look at him, here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do.
Bingo.
He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week 1, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues.
The hyperventilating in the media and from the Democrats for the first week, first of all, Trump's pace is just extraordinary. It's something you'll never see again. But he hasn't done anything that he didn't say that he's doing everything he said he was going to do. There's no surprises here. And the hyperventilating is just ridiculous. He said he was going to do these things. There's no surprise. That's, again, like what he's saying right here. He's doing what he said he was going to do. Isn't that what we want from politicians?
They talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it.
Let me put it this way. Here's how bad the Democrats fucked up. Trump is cool now. He's not just the most powerful guy in the world and just made himself like the richest. Mm-hmm. He's actually kind of at 78.
Yes.
I mean, rappers like him. Yeah. The athletes are doing, I was making fun of him jerking off 2 guys at one time.
Here's the thing, Bill. Here's what your TDS, maybe you forgot about this. Rappers always liked him. They liked him until 2016 when they were told if you like him, you're going to be canceled. Athletes always liked him. How many sporting events did Donald Trump hold? How do you think Stephen A. Smith knows him from before he was president? Bill, come on, Bill, wake up.
And now he owns it, and they're doing it. I mean, the village people are game for Trump now.
YMCA.
You know what would be nice in this country? I mean, just hypothetically, do we have to have the celebrity president? I mean, is it all about coolness? How about being cool as a president is actually about helping people? How about
What is Donald Trump doing that's not trying to help people? He just went to North Carolina yesterday and to California and held a roundtable in California that no other president in my lifetime, other than maybe Ronald Reagan, could possibly pull off. He absolutely owned that table for an hour, speaking to everybody, taking any question, dealing with it as it was coming in, as almost like he was running a boardroom on The Apprentice. That's what we were watching. It was must-watch television. It was better than watching sports.
When we look at our great presidents, they weren't out there doing dances. They were figuring out how to get higher wages for people. They were how jobs.
But that horse has left the barn.
You're right.
What about Trump's first term before the thing came over from you-know-where? Everything was going great. Wages were up. Inflation was way down. Jobs, employment, all-time high levels for every demographic. People never even talk about that.
I think so.
You're living in America, dude. Come on.
We just celebrated Jimmy Carter's.
Yeah,
Jimmy Carter was a great American.
Yes.
An awful president. You just talked to this guy. See what I mean? Overeducated, useless person.
Did a lot of great things. And by the way, the FEMA agency, a Department of Education that he established, Trump now wants to take it down.
Okay,
Yeah, FEMA and the Department of Education really doing great, right, Khanna? Really great. Education, we're down to like 40th in the world, and since the Department of Education in 1978, we've gone down and down and down. And FEMA, yeah, they're doing really well too, aren't they, Khanna? These are clueless.
Be honest here. First of all, one could argue that Obama resonated more because the people chose him to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, as opposed to somebody backdooring their way into that position. Let's just be honest about it. You had Biden. I know that you supported Biden. Obviously, you spoke about his mental acuity and all of that other stuff, but we all saw what we saw. Before the debate on June 27th, when the debate happened, and by the time that was exposed, it then waited 3 weeks after that before he decided to walk away, but it was too late for anybody else to get in. So Kamala Harris, who didn't resonate during the primaries in 2020, couldn't even get to Iowa, suddenly is the Democratic nominee. And then you roll up at the convention in Chicago, and everybody's like, she's a rock star. So it was like, wait a minute, how'd that happen? I don't know how that happened. So you're looking at...
It happened with the help of the media. Completely fabricated. AstroTurf. I said it the whole time. Go back and watch my videos. AstroTurf, fake.
All of those things that you're saying, yes, I voted for her. A lot of people voted for her. But in the end, we end up feeling like damn fools because we supported it. We fell for the okie doke, as they say. You know she didn't. If you had a primary, the likelihood is that she would not have been the Democratic nominee.
Well, Stephen A., no, you voted for her because your TDS prevented you from voting for the person who you knew was the better choice. Bottom line.
And you can't say that about Trump in this side.
Well, let's go through, again, the first week of the Trump administration, some of the things we're going to do. Take over the Panama Canal.
Good.
Take Greenland.
Panama Canal. Khanna, yeah, that Jimmy Carter sold for $1. Worked out well, too, didn't it, Khanna? Great American, Jimmy Carter.
Let's talk about the border one. Okay. Because ICE is now detaining people. This is a lot of people concerned.
Which is their job.
The Laken-Riley Act, I'm sure you voted on that. I think you voted no. Okay.
Of course you did.
It did pass with 46 Democrats in the House voted for it. And in the Senate, it passed 64 to 35, so I think about 12 Democrats there. This is a law that says that ICE can detain any illegal who is charged, arrested, or convicted of a crime, not merely an accusation, so don't get excited, Karens. Has to be charged, arrested, or convicted. Now, Ruben Gallego, who we've had on this show a number of times, and I think has bigger ambitions, that he's now the senator from Arizona, he voted for it. He said, I'm bringing the perspective of working-class Latinos from Arizona. That perspective, I think, has been missing. And he talks about people who are largely out of touch with where your average Latino is. It sounds like he's calling out people like you who voted no.
I like Ruben. There are a lot of Latino. I do. I think he ran a hell of a race. But there are a lot of Latino leaders who also voted no. Here's the basic
and they'll lose.
Thing in this country. If you're convicted of a sex offense, of a violent offense, absolutely you should be deported. But if you're just arrested, we are a country which we have due process, and you should have a trial. I think that's a reasonable position.
See, this is where Khanna's lost.
I think most people can agree also that, yes, let's deport convicted felons, convicted criminals, but let's not deport our nannies and students or dental hygienists who've been living.
He actually went to he named them as dental hygienists this time. He didn't go with he started with nannies and then students, and anyway, I better say something better than the dishwasher or the gardener or the crop picker. doctor this time. I better go with a dental hygienist. Where'd he pull that one out of? Clown.
Here for years and have kids in communities. We can have a common sense position on this.
We're talking about immigration, and we're talking.
If you're here illegally, you're out of the country. I'm sorry. There's no more gray area. If you're here illegally, you are to be deported.
About immigrants who may be criminals, you're talking about them being arrested. Let's have due process. But if it takes too damn long to address it, that pisses people off. That's one of the problems that exist in this country. You're looking at stuff, and you're like, okay, you arrested him. Was he in jail? All right, you let him out. Recidivism is an issue in this country. You let somebody, you arrest them, you're letting them out the same day, stuff like that. You got law enforcement officials that are getting discouraged because they're looking at it and they're saying, wait a minute, why are we out here risking our life and taking care of this stuff when y'all are just letting people out? You got to handle business.
All
and
Democrat
a lot of times
laws.
we hear about the red tape and all of that stuff, and you're talking about a candidate right now who now happens to be the president of the United States now. He's sitting up there and he's talking about expediting the process at every turn. Let's just get stuff done. Let's just get it done. Now, I don't know if I trust that. I don't blame you for not trusting it. But we have to understand the American people are saying, you know what, enough's enough. We've tried it that way. We've been doing it that way for decades. We sick of y'all. Let's wait. Let's go through the process. Let's arrest somebody. Let's let them out. Let's put them back out on the streets. Oh, let's make sure they have due process. You think somebody wants to hear about due process with somebody that's in this country illegally? I want to hear that.
Bingo. Bingo.
Bingo.
You don't get due process. You don't get constitutional rights if you're not a citizen of the United States. What is the point of being a citizen of the United States if everybody that's here illegally gets constitutional rights? What benefits do I get as a citizen? Or the people, I'm natural born, the people who went through the process, paid the money, studied, paid their dues. What is the benefit that they get? This is 100% right, and why people like Khanna are just lost.
This country illegally. Hell with your process.
Yeah.
You got the audacity to admit a crime after you got here illegally?
Right.
We ain't trying to hear that. Nobody's trying to hear that. So they say, wait a minute, what are you going to do about it? Where is the common sense in that?
That's what makes America different than every other country. We have a constitution. We give people rights. We don't just say, let's conveniently
give
ignore.
citizens rights.
We give
citizens rights.
No, we give every person here rights.
No, they don't get constitutional rights. They have human rights, which means you will be fed, clothed, and if you need medical care, you will get medical care as you are being deported. You don't get due process and constitutional rights because you got arrested here. You already are in the country illegally. Crime number one. You commit another crime, crime number two. You don't get a process. You are out of here. In the process, you won't be tortured. You won't be cruel to unusual punishment. You will have human rights applied to you, but you are being deported. You don't get the rights that an American citizen gets and a due process that an American citizen gets when they are charged with a crime. Sorry.
Basic due process.
Like maybe that's what people are saying.
Under the Constitution.
They're saying they want the citizens to have the rights.
Were you at the everybody did not watch?
You know, one of the things people like about Donald Trump is he stands on his convictions. When have you heard Democrats saying vast majority of immigrants in this country contribute to this country? They don't commit crimes.
Yes.
They are law-abiding. They're patriotic.
If you're in the country illegally, you're not law-abiding. You're already breaking the law.
Our party needs to stop being scared of our own shadows, stand up for what immigrants have actually contributed. You know what
Legal immigrants, stop conflating. They do it all the time. Nobody's buying it anymore.
we should have done? Kamala Harris should have gone to Springfield. The day that Trump was doing that garbage about their eating the dogs and cats, she should have stood there in Springfield meeting with the Haitian immigrants who are contributing to this country.
Contributing how? And they were flown in. They just got here. They were flown in by the thousands by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. How are they contributing? Contributing to what?
We will win when we stand on strength of our values.
Well, I can.
Again, another useless platitude.
I don't know. I'm getting from the applause, he's more popular than you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what he's saying is getting a big thing, and you're getting like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that he has an ESPN show, Khanna. It has to do with the fact that he's actually making sense. That's the difference. And you just don't get it. And way too many people in your party don't get it. And I keep saying it over and over again. I think I say it in every video. I'm sorry if you're getting sick of it. Keep not getting it. The longer you don't get it, the longer we win, and the quicker we get the country back. Because there's a lot of work to do here. Okay, 4 years of Donald Trump, it won't be enough. No matter what he does, no matter how fast he moves, we're gonna need another 8 after him. Okay, so Khanna, keep it up. Keep up the nonsense with these nonsense platitudes about American values and all this other crap, and everybody should get due process and has rights and this and that. Yeah, everybody has human rights. But if you're not an American citizen, you don't have constitutional rights. You're not a citizen. The benefit of being a citizen of this country is that you get constitutional rights. And if you want to have that benefit, you go through the process and you wait online like everybody else did. Or you were lucky enough to have generations here before that did the same thing so their families could have them going forward. You don't like that? Go somewhere else. See how you do. I'm going to leave it there. The video is already real long. I don't want to go too long. I really appreciate you watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I get so many great comments, so many things I forgot to say, so many things I never knew about that people tell me that are just great information that I love to get. So please comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.